Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Bells Must Ring podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Rice, here with my usual co-host, Arnav Sarkar. Um, we have a special guest for you guys on today, Gabriel Pickup from the Voice of College Football Rutgers channel. How are you doing today, Gabe?
I'm doing great. Thank you guys for having me. I'm excited to talk about Rutgers, Oregon, because there's not much to lose this week, but it's felt like a few weeks where it stung a little bit, but I'm excited to move forward and talk optimistically.
Honestly, that's kind of the reason why I'm not excited to talk about Rutgers, Oregon. But before we get to Rutgers, Oregon, there was a game last week that we're going to have to touch on. Rutgers went out to Seattle, played Washington in a game that was once again a tale of two halves. You know, Rutgers leads at halftime, falls apart in the second half. Was there anything that you kind of saw from Rutgers' performance during that game, Gabe?
Well, not just last game, but all season, we're 6-0 in first halves, and our record is 3-3. We're 2-4 in the second half. The only game we lost the second half and still won was against Ohio. And the only games we won were Miami of Ohio and Norfolk State in the second half. In terms of last game, we let Damon Williams have a historic game against us, only the 16th time in college football history, or rather in top 137 or whatever it is for FBS history, where a player got 400 passing yards and 100 rushing yards in the same game. And I don't know if that says a lot about Damon Williams or anything about our defense, probably a little bit of both. At least we didn't have the worst week in Big Ten, right? I mean, that's very clearly another school, but in terms of us, yeah, Washington had our number. It seems like we got our usual, couple 3-and-outs, and then they just had their way with us, not just in the second half, but really second quarter moving forward. And it was extremely disappointing to see that we didn't have any adjustments after a bye week, where Arnav, you said when I was on your show, after a bye week, there's a lot to look forward to because all of a sudden there's possibly some scheme changes or some personnel changes, but it was just more of the same.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I did say that on your show because last season against Minnesota, following the second bye week, I believe they came out looking like a new team. I mean, defensively, yeah, they rebuilt the scheme. Offensively, they look pretty good, and it wasn't a one hit wonder kind of thing. I know UCLA, they kind of said, one hit wonder, this and that, and they proved themselves. But Rutgers last year, they were not like a one hit wonder in November. They ended up using that to sustain momentum throughout the month. Even their losses against Illinois and Kansas State, while the defense didn't look great, I mean, it kind of set up the stage for this season with the identity. But really, in the bye week, they really turned things around. What looked like a lost season became a bowl season. Kansas State was a quality bowl opponent. It was a better bowl. It wasn't like the Pinstripe Bowl. They ended up with 7 wins. So the hope was this year, like, more of the same could happen. I don't know. I mean, maybe like a win, but at least not like a devastating loss. Like this, you're right. Like nothing changed. It was the same. Like I think Brian Fonseca from NJ.com said it best in his article when he said we're living through Groundhog's Day because basically not many of the things change. I mean, the offense, poor second half adjustments. Kagmanis again, he was kind of forcing passes. He probably had his worst statistical day, even though he had one interception. There was multiple other balls that one of them was intercepted. It was called back for PI. I feel like the refs kind of almost helped Rutgers a little bit, and it still didn't kind of work out. And yeah, I mean, even though the offense had some big performances, Ian Strong had 7 catches. Antoine, he also had 7 catches too, and like they both had Strong had 124 yards, Raymond had 89 yards. He had a big touchdown. He had 2 big plays. He had I think a 54-yard rush to set up Rutgers in the red zone, and then he had the 45 yards, something like that, like receiving touchdown, which I wasn't really not expecting either. So those are really 2 big plays. I mean, Sheffield and Duff, I think Duff had the first receiving touchdown for the Scarlet Knights. So there's always going to be some of that. Like they have 3 good receivers. Their running back, Raymond, is really good. Was used in the past. But I think the story on offense for Rutgers was that they stalled in the red zone 3 times without any points.
Yep.
Including 2 later in the game, and then one kind of earlier where they could try to go for it to, they're very deep. They try to get, extend the Rutgers lead, which I thought was the right decision. Couldn't convert. Washington got their hands on the ball. 2 field goals from Gabe Pickup. So the final 5 red zone drives only scored 6 points. And when you're not scoring touchdowns and you're not even scoring field goals, although in the second half you can't really rely on the field goals, but that's just, to me, that's like inexcusable. I mean, that's even worse than kicking field goals every time but either way, it's not like they would have won. But I just feel like that stat is like what really defined the offense. Like, they kind of look like, I guess, a team who drives on like, how Ohio State has like a shutdown red zone defense. It's like teams will move the ball and not score. But for Rutgers, it's kind of like the same.
We'll move the ball and not score.
Offense.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit different, I guess. But like, I guess my point being, like, they didn't take advantage of their opportunities. They couldn't get a touchdown late in the game to cut the deficit. They couldn't build the lead early. They ended up, I mean, I would like to say they ended up selling for points, but they kind of didn't really do that either. And Rutgers ended up empty-handed.
Yeah, 19 plays, 63 yards, 0 points.
And time like went off.
That's insane.
A lot of there was multiple of those drives that took like 5-6 minutes, and to come up with nothing after all of that, when those are quarter like long drives that take up chunks of the quarter, and you can't even get like a field goal or a touchdown or anything to come out of it, like that's just not acceptable. And the team just stopped at 19. Like they had that Antoine Raymond touchdown that I mentioned, and that was it for the night. So I mean, the worst part about it is the lead didn't even feel safe. Like everybody, we were watching like he was at my house, and we were watching the game, and we knew it. Like that lead was not safe. We're like, okay, they're up 10-0, they're up 13-7, they're up 13. It was like that's you know what I mean. We knew like that was not going to be sustainable, and like having that feeling in your stomach, like, oh, it's not gonna work, like, and being right, and like that's just like the worst feeling in the world. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know why the offense is not making adjustments for the second half. I don't know why they're slowing down so much. But it's just that's just not going to work, because I mean, Oregon, like, we're going is only going to play, they're going to play a full 4 quarters. They're probably going to build a lead, or even if Rutgers built the lead, they're going to be able to start winning easily.
I don't think we're going to be 7-0 in first halves next week.
I lose our first
I do have
season too. So I mean,
I do have that feeling, yeah. But I did just kind of wanted to push back against what Arnav said earlier a little bit. Like you guys were talking about how, making adjustments during the bye week and coming out with a little bit of different schemes. I will say they definitely looked like they wanted to get Raymond involved more in the passing game, being a little bit more of a pass catching back.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, so that's something I just kind of wanted to push against. But even, you're talking about the offense not making second half adjustments. Nobody is.
Yeah,
nobody's making
far from alone. I just want to focus on the offense first. But I mean, on the defensive side of the ball, like, I mean, well, that's not really true. I mean, like, I feel like it's weird with the defense, because they have improved, but it's just like, first of all, it's not enough, and second of all, it's not consistent, and third of all the major issues remain. So like what they're doing to improve doesn't really, like, to me, like, that just doesn't really count too much. Like, I know they I mean, credit is due where it's due, but it's like they held Washington to a missed field goal early after kind of getting burned a little bit. Okay, that's bend but don't break. They forced 2 punts. That's good. They got a fumble by Jabome. They got a sack by Walker. The Walker sack was very early. They flipped field position, and Rutgers came up with no points again because Gabe Pickup missed the field goal, and then the offense went 3-and-out. So that's another thing that, you get opportunities and you can't capitalize. You're in the red zone, you can't capitalize. You get a short field, you can't capitalize. Like, it's like the only way that they're doing it sometimes is like the long way. So that's also not good. But on defense, it's just, I mean, it wasn't great. I mean, the turnover, like, there was, like, again, the first half was good, the second half was bad. They did keep Jonah Coleman in check, which kind of surprised me, because I think I kind of just didn't even like realize when I wrote the recap.
He wasn't the weapon. The weapon was Boston.
Devon Williams. The receivers. Yeah, Boston caught a big catch. I was surprised that Coleman, after like everyone expected him to go all off. Maybe the run defense has improved a bit, because 14 carries for 44 yards against a back like that.
Well, the run defense improved. The thing is, the run defense against the running backs hasn't really been an issue all year.
It's quarterbacks.
Yeah,
you're right. Yeah,
when it comes to the defense too. So besides one big mental mistake from Bo Masco against Denzel Boston, where it was a 50-50 ball, and instead of contesting the ball, he tried to sell an OPI. Besides that, and that led directly to the touchdown. I will say the defense. And by the way, that disappointed me because Bo Masco has been our best secondary defender all year, I believe.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
That's
In
true.
terms of the defense, it seems like they're trying hard. There's just something wrong with the scheme, and that's sort of what I meant when I said the scheme didn't change. I was referencing the defense, and also the tackling isn't there. There's something where it seems like, twice a game we just say, let's defend 10 of these 11 guys, and the 11th guy,
let's leave him wide open.
Give him some popcorn and we'll let him have a picnic out there. But that's really what it is. It's the deep ball mistakes. It's the mental lapses, and Rob Smith has to go. I don't know if he has to get fired, but he has to not be the play caller.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, what do they have to lose at this point by handing it off to Sparber? Like, how bad could Sparber be? Like, it's my thing. It can't get worse than this.
Or
I don't
Greg
think so.
Schiano. Just have
yeah, exactly. He's a defensive-minded coach too. Like, he could easily do it. But maybe, having a 2-coordinator system allows you some room with that kind of thing. Like, if you want to switch in, still have Smith, because there has been some improvements. Like, keep him there. That experience. But yeah, switch the play caller. Like I said, it can't get much worse. Like, this week, maybe you're playing with some house money. Maybe it's the one to do it. I don't know. They're not going to do it, but I would just say, but it's the same problems. Like, it's, I guess we can't really talk about this game without mentioning that Damon Williams had career highs in passing and rushing. He had 2 rushing touchdowns. He had like the big carry in the beginning, multiple other ones. He just take off, and Rutgers has allowed that for Parker Navarro, Taquan Finn. Gronowski, Drake Lindsay's look really good. Like, everybody. And then, it's just like not great. But the bigger
problem has been it's just been that we've allowed quarterbacks to keep true to their identity all year. And whatever they're best at, we've allowed them to keep doing their best.
Yeah.
Coming into last week, we need to make Damon Williams pick a threat. He can't be a dual threat. He has to pick a threat because he's
passing or running,
all his options. And he not only had to pick a threat, but he got career highs in both and had one of 16 performances in FBS history. And it's more rare than a perfect game in baseball to have 400, 100.
400, 100. Yeah, that's a stat. But I think the bigger, like, one of the big things I've been noticing, because I've been writing recaps or analysis articles, I guess injury rates, like the actual game recaps, but
like don't put on my territory.
Yeah, but I'll go into the analysis pieces. Like, you can see them on my site. They're called Arnav. You can see them on the banks. They're called Arnav's analysis. So anyway, I don't want to plug myself too hard, but I guess my point being, I look at the stats every week. I look at the box scores. I look at who's catching what passes, this and that, and I'm seeing almost every pass catcher for the 3rd straight week, whether it's a running back, a tight end, or a receiver, will have a catch of over 10 yards. Most of them over 20, and that means not only can they not defend the guys in the deep parts of the field, like obviously the one-on-one situations, at least they're competing with the guys now, but they're losing them. Like, before, it used to be they just got straight burnt. But in the intermediate parts of the field, they're leaving guys wide open, not only to catch a first down, but then extra yards after that, like a catch and run to like Tucker DeGraff or Decker DeGraff, the tight end from Washington. Jonah Coleman had a 20-yard catch. That's a running back. You don't expect him to do that, but it's just been every single week, and it's bad enough if you play zone and you leave them the first down in front of the sticks, but they're doing that and then they're letting the guys rumble, and I'm like, how is that even what are we doing? I think you're right. It's definitely got to be the scheme, but Greg Schiano said something interesting in the presser where he's it's more about the coaching, and the, that's causing the lack of execution, because this, he's play calling, I think, is a little overrated, because if, you wouldn't have calls on the sheet that are bad. So it's just a matter of when you call them. So, I can't imagine that the whole play sheet is bad defense. I'm sure it's execution.
Well, I want to
spreadsheet.
I want to interject a little bit there. Because it almost seems because they've been bringing their defense up to better scheme against running attacks. So they mostly have their linebackers going forward. Now that's usually who's defending the middle of the field. It's going to be the linebackers a lot of the time.
Right.
But since they're moving their defense up, it seems that there's moving their safeties up with it. And this is the problem that I've been talking about almost the entire year, because and that Jet Elad has been moved up because he's been making stops on the run in the backfield and stuff like that.
Yep.
So that they're definitely sliding those safeties down and keeping one high but sliding one down. And both of them all year have looked completely lost in the sauce. Jetty Lad has had some moments of dominance where he's gotten some tackles for loss, but other than that, he's looked. And Kaj Sanders has been, oh boy, rough for him. A lot of the times, I think these corners are expecting help over the top of the defense, and the safeties are just nowhere to be found. So that's why I feel like we're getting beat deep consistently, because somebody deep is making the wrong reads, and I just don't think it's the corners, I'll be honest with you, because they're expecting to have help over the top.
Well, I will say that Cam Miller, as a former safety, should expect one-on-one to be he should be shooting for Revis Island out there, rookie Sauce Gardner, Quinyon Mitchell rookie year. He should be shooting for something like that coming out of Penn State as a starter, by the way. And like I said, he won't be the only one leaving that Penn State program. But Jacoby Henderson, too, has been disappointing this year. It seems like against Minnesota, they were targeting him every single play and wasn't making the tackles early enough. So, a bubble route was where he makes contact 2 yards in was.
Looks like we lost Gabe there for a little bit. So what I believe he was trying to say is that Henderson was being exploited consistently in the game against Minnesota. He really did have quite a poor performance, and that, at a certain point, you're blaming coaching. That just tells me one thing, that Rob Smith is not going to last the year.
No.
He's just not going to last.
Well, even if he does, then he's not going to last the off season. So there's that. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I found that point really interesting from Shiano, where he's like, it's coaching, but like, what are we doing about the coaching? Like, if that's all, like, it's good to take accountability, responsibility, but like, what does it matter if it doesn't get better, it doesn't change? You know what I mean? Like, I'm kind of tired of hearing that. And then I also just don't know, like, how I think it is more coaching than scheme, because I can't imagine the whole scheme is bad unless the scheme is also just like playing extremely soft zone coverage, which I really don't understand what the need for that is. Like, I'm no expert on like football coaching, but I don't know like what the strat is if that's what it is. But I think it's probably like more execution, and they're probably, I mean, I can't imagine the guys are always lining up in the wrong spots. It's probably a mix of coaching and schemes, but I'm sure like if they were able to execute the scheme properly, then like, like even if it's a weird, confusing scheme that doesn't seem to make a lot of sense, they would be doing better at it.
Yes, sir. Sorry about that, fellas. For some reason, mid-conversation, my computer just decided to have a reboot, and it started making very loud noises, and I started freaking out, thinking AI was taking over, but we're back.
I wish I could say that was the only time something like this has happened.
Yeah, we cut in.
It's way too common.
Yeah,
and that's the only time that's ever happened on my end, at least with that desktop.
Oh wow, yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, so like I was saying, like probably a mix of scheme and execution. Like they're probably just having a hard time like understanding. Like I don't know. Another thing that Shiano said, like in the like bi-week like media like scrum or press conference, it wasn't an official one, was he was like, the guys are lining up in the right spots, but when there's pre-snap motion, like they're not like adjusting properly. So I don't know if that's something else that's probably another reason why like there's so much empty space and things like that, because again, you should be able to keep up with that. Like when a guy moves, you move, like you see it all the time, so I don't know why that's confusing people. Like they call it scatter shifting is the official term for it, but like that's what Shiano said like in that one. So I don't know if that's also part of it, and also part of it's just linebackers dropping up and safeties dropping back, and now you have this like the spot where like people find the soft zone. Maybe you need to drop the linebackers back a little bit more. I don't know what the solution is, because you're also not getting much of a pass rush, but you're starting to get a little bit. The D line's playing better, so maybe you drop the linebackers back a little bit, so you don't have like those spots up in the field. And then in the deep parts, you just have to cover better. You have to have the the safety help, like Andrew mentioned, over the top, because if you lose that one-on-one, you got to have the next level of defense behind. The safeties, I think, just haven't been doing their job like all season. So
not even just that, but knowing that you have the safety help over the top allows the corners to go up and make a play.
Right.
I bet you any amount of money that they're expecting to be able to go up and make a play on some of these balls, and just if they miss it, the guy behind him makes a tackle.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
So
wait, he missed it, and now there's nobody there. So
exactly. So now you have to like be more careful if you're like a corner. You can't really try to make an interception or a pass deflection if you get burnt, and then chances are the safeties will get burnt anyway, and like it'll all be for nothing. So
I
so
mean, there was no safety help when it was Bo Masco against Denzel Boston, and that's the thing that pissed me off about that play is like the Boston touched him maybe like that or something like that, and then he like stumbled backwards like he just punched in the face by Mike Tyson, and like it's stuff like that. Like this isn't basketball. This isn't football. This is football. And you get tackled on a play-to-play basis, so what are you doing trying to sell a play?
Yeah, like for OP, I don't know. Like, honestly, like
and that was when the game was still close too.
That's true. Like, I guess, maybe he could have made a better play on the ball. I felt like it was an incredibly tough catch that Boston made too over the
He made a good catch. It's just it could have been a 50-50 ball.
It could have, but like you said, he kind of tried to like sell it off and not really make the best play for the ball there. So that's unfortunate. But I guess like it happens. It does happen.
At least with that play, I can say it happens because that just was a mental mistake. And it didn't come down to scheme. It didn't come down to not being able to tackle, which we've seen a lot of when a quarterback tries to run with the ball. It seems like there's a lot of the time where we're not tackling him 100% because we expect him to fall and we're afraid of a late hit penalty, or in the backfield, we're afraid of roughing the passer and we're not getting any pressure on the quarterback. So when guys have all day to make that decision, then it's like, of course, they're going to put up 400 yards or 100 yards rushing. Of course, Parker Navarro is going to look like Lamar Jackson. Of course, Mark Gronowski is going to have his best performance of the year, and Drake Lindsay his best performance in college football.
Yeah, and then like you said, like DeQuan Finn looked like Parker Navarro.
Yeah.
I love that line. That was like such a great one. It's
that's one of my one-liners of the year is Parker Navarro looked like Lamar Jackson and DeQuan Finn looked like Parker Navarro.
Yeah, it's so perfect, honestly. And that was the shocking part. Like even Miami, Ohio, like a team who's known for being, first of all, a MAC team. Second of all, very conservative on offense, just their play style. They were even like loading it up and launching it deep, and you'd probably like never see that out of them, even in the MAC. So that was just shocking. But against us, maybe not so shocking because like clearly the opportunities were there for the taking. So I mean, can't blame them. But yeah, I mean, it's just weird because it's like some improvements, but they're not consistent. They're not enough, and they don't actually fix any of the real like major problems, which are bad coverages, blown coverages, bad scheme, and then poor tackling. And again, you can't stop mobile quarterbacks. The one thing that I guess they have improved on is stopping running backs, but I don't think that was such a major concern.
Still, I mean, it was a major concern coming out of the first 3 games of the season,
I guess. Yeah,
but what you guys are really forgetting is that we will get there. You guys are
this year.
Have you been watching Greg Schiano's press conferences after each game?
Not to their entirety, but I've seen a lot of clips, including after Minnesota when he said we need money.
So he's been saying like we will get there after like every single game so far
this tenure, like not only this year, like going back like last year, the year before, like all the other years, but this year is just it's sounding like a broken record. Like someone on the bank said, like on one of the comments, he's like, I should make a shirt like saying like we're gonna get there with Greg Schiano's face in it, and I was like, I'd wear that to the stadium. Like it's just so funny to me. Like I mean it's just I don't know, man. It's just like
I also need a shirt that says incremental improvements over time.
Oh boy.
Like
something. I think we will get there. We will get there. It's like a sharp sending of the message. But yeah, no, either one. It's just like with the whole like James Franklin thing. It's just like how like different is this? Like the expectations are very different. Greg, and it's not the same situation. But I mean, they just finally said enough. So like I don't know. I mean, I understand like part of our fan base thinks the same way, but it's a very different
Schiano, then like you saw it with Penn State, they lost 3 5-star running backs in 24 hours, or running backs, 3 5-star prospects and commits in 24 hours. With us, if we lose Schiano, we're losing our entire 2026 and 2027 recruiting class.
Yeah, we can't really afford to do that. But
we don't have a legacy outside of Schiano like Penn State had even before James Franklin, and they weren't like the worst. Like they weren't like as good as they are now, but before James Franklin, they were still first off, the biggest school in Pennsylvania, and
They had
probably
Natty's before
the
James.
biggest school in the Northeast in terms of football.
Yeah,
we don't have that without Shiano.
They had Natty's before James too. Like
Yeah.
they had national championships with Paterno and all of them. But
our history is, we had Shiano's first stint, and we had, seasons in the 60s.
Yeah,
60s and 70s. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I guess also like we haven't had anyone who's been willing to come that has, like, we saw what happened when Shiano left the first time and how bad the team got, and even the 4 and 8s were like an improvement from that, and now to get to bowl eligibility, and it would really suck for him, this season to completely go down the waste. And I feel like the voices are going to get louder if they go 4 and 8 this year, or they don't make a bowl, or so, the way things are looking right now. Like, that's all I'm saying. I'm not going to say like fire him, but I'm going to say like his seat's only going to get warmer if this happens. I mean, if he bounces back and turns it around next year, and it is like a one-off, I think it should be fine. But like,
not even just trend here. Not even just that, but we have been, over the past 2 years, we have been extremely unlucky in terms of
schedule.
Just especially on defense, we've been extremely unlucky. Last season, the defense looked like got ripped with bullet holes, and then this season, all the players that we bring in that we think can do well, and we could talk about scheming all we want.
Right.
At the end of the day, pass rush doesn't take it. It's
pass rush is pass rush.
But pass rush should not take a scheme, especially with the players that we went and got in the offseason.
It's just so
Eric O'Neal, Jordan. Yeah.
Bradley Weaver. We thought that Eric O'Neal was going to be a pass rusher, but he's been a run stopper, which I'm happy that he's been stopping the run. But where the hell is the pass rush?
That's what I'm saying. I thought those guys would come off the edge. Like O'Neal was averaging like a sack per game last year. Like,
he came into the year a top 100 player in all of college football.
Right. I think both of them like made like some sort of one of those lists. Like
we had him at 83.
Yeah, exactly. These are supposed to be game changers, and they're hardly even being used. Like, you see one game O'Neal, one game Weaver, one game Thompson, like 1 or 2 sacks. That's it. There hasn't been anything. Like, I don't know why, but like it's just, I don't know. They're not utilizing the guys the right way. They're also not executing the right way. It's just like combination of a lot of things.
But to build on top of that, like I said, pass rush doesn't require a lot of scheming.
It doesn't.
I feel like a lot of the players that were expected to have a really high upside and were expected to, do a lot better once they got into a proper Power 5 conditioning program and stuff like that. It just hasn't materialized. So, we were doomed by the injuries last year, and now it's like we're dying on the edge of the transfers this year of them just not materializing into what we think what we think and what the coaching staff thought they could be.
Yeah, and you mentioned conditioning. That's another thing that's been a problem this season for Rutgers in terms of players getting injured. It hasn't been as bad the last couple of weeks, but guys are still like dropping like flies on the depth chart. So it's just like that's another big problem. We lost Moses Walker on like a play that shouldn't have even really caused an injury. So like
Eli would make a lot of difference on the pass rush too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can't believe we lose him before the start of the season. That's just
right before, like days.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right about that too. Blue Eli, even though he was more like a run stuffer, but then maybe that would have allowed for the other guys to go out and pass rush if he was there alongside Dina Goe and Keshawn Griffins, Zaire Angoy. They kind of rotate the D line in and out, and they've all kind of had their moments. But I guess one thing like I did want to mention was shifting over to the third phase. Like we talked about team not improving.
Before we move on to defense, before we move on from defense, and just to kind of piggyback off of Gabe's point, if you have Doug Blue Eli, who turns out to be, because everybody on the defensive interior has either been okay or poor, so if you have Blue Eli at least play decent for one side, you could have a rotation of okay guys coming in on the other side and just keep getting fresh bodies.
Dina Goe and
if we're talking conditioning, like our front four was supposed to be like, don't do the freaking meme on me, but it was supposed to be like 6 or 7 deep, and we didn't have that because Doug Blue Eli got hurt, and because Jordan Walker has been pedestrian, and he was honestly one of the leaders of the defense because he's one of the few that came back.
Right. And Jordan Thompson,
Jordan Thompson he actually had our best PFF grade last week. So I mean, it was only like a 78, which is still good, but like you'd expect like
Right.
the best PFF on the team to be like high 80s, maybe a 90.
Yeah, somebody.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
and
jeez.
going back to Shiano, my co-host on Voice of College Football Rutgers says Adam Lamparello. He's actually kind of been saying like, forget how long are we going to put up with Shiano? How long is Shiano going to put up with this?
Well,
No, I kind of have to agree with him there because, in all honesty, we've had several different things that have utterly handicapped us in the past couple of years. Because first of all, for some reason, we can't seem to get good health and conditioning coaches to save our life because the injuries have just been absolutely ridiculous. And then on top of that, Shiano can go to a program with a lot more resources and do better than what he's doing.
like we've seen it at Ohio State when he was the DC, like things like that.
He can,
but he's chosen not to. So I mean, like that's.
And I appreciate it, but like I think what Adam was referring to was what is his drive for coaching still? When you look at every year how we're supposed to be getting better, but instead we're disappointment. And last year, 7-6, you can say it was a good year, but when you look at our schedule, it should have been 9-4.
9-4, like at least 8 wins in the regular.
Possible. And
the thing is with that, it's only like, if you really think about it, it's only 2 seasons worth of disappointment, because it's not like we've been having like 5 or 6 seasons or however many Franklin has had where he was a complete disappointment for Penn State fans. We have been, probably a disappointment for 2 seasons, last year and this year. Right. But, I'm not going to call the 2023 season a disappointment because we finally got back to a bowl game.
Oh, yeah, that was great.
Like the right way, like not the 5-win, like, whatever, handout bowl win game, whatever. It kind of worked out for us in a funny way because we ended up playing on New Year's Day, and I was like, oh my God, Rutgers is playing on the same
New Year's Day bowl. Wow.
New Year's Eve, but yeah, like I mean,
we're missing Mo Toure, man. Mo Toure starting middle linebacker at Miami, top
Miami
2.
looks good this year. Like they look good, but like we could have definitely used him this year for sure. And like Jabome can't do everything by himself. Like at the linebacker position,
and it would have allowed for a 4-3 scheme instead of 4-2.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right. Extra D back or
it also looks like half the time that they just completely scheme because they know that Jabome is like the one playmaker that we have on our team. It looks like they just half the time they just absolutely scheme away from him. Make him a non-factor in almost every single play that they do.
Yeah. I mean, do you guys think that part of the reason for the quarterback scrambling success is because we're running a 4-2-5? We don't have an extra man spying out a quarterback changing his mind?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's literally you have 2 linebackers. So if you can get by the D line, like, that's only 2 guys versus
one of them is wide.
Yeah, there's no spy, and then like if the secondary also can't make tackles, then it's just bad because like the front 4 hasn't been the greatest. The secondary with 5 of them, they've been like really really bad. Then the linebackers have been like okay, but like again, like Jabome can't do everything himself. Now Moses Walker's down for the year, so it's just this is just not looking good. But I mean, in terms of the Shiano thing, it's just like, well, first of all, I guess he's locked up till 2030, like on his deal.
Yes. But like he could, Franklin was locked up and he got $56 million to.
That's true. But like Rutgers would have to be the one to can him, and I like we were saying, we don't see that happening unless he goes.
Not with our money. Not with
exactly.
Our money.
Like how are we gonna raise that funds unless he goes has a really horrible season? He's like 111. Like it's just not.
The only reason I say that is because with Kelly Lynn and Tate coming in, Shiano's not their coach.
That's true. I guess if results just don't go the way that they have. But now maybe the NIL stuff maybe changes things in the positive direction. And, the athletic excellence fund, we can raise money. And I'm not opposed to the way Rutgers does the transfer. Like, they're not like Clemson that doesn't use it. Like, they've gotten in there. I like what they do. They build a culture, and then they add players that are talented on the field. They're, high character guys. They fit the scheme. They fit the culture. And they improve the performance. It just hasn't worked this year.
Yeah, the transfer defense has just been abysmal.
Yeah, we lost a lot of guys, and
and this is like the first time where transfers who were expected to start really just have absolutely not worked out.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's like you live on the sword, you die on the sword.
Yeah.
Because when you grab players from lower levels, you don't know how they're going to materialize to the upper levels. One thing that we've quickly learned, especially about Eric O'Neill, is that he, back during his time with JMU, he would rely on his just overall speed and strength compared to whoever he was playing against and just run right over them. But now when it comes to like technique and, skill and different types of moves, he doesn't have that. He doesn't really have that.
He has, I will say, he has improved his run defense, but that's because he had to find a way to impact the game.
Yeah, I don't know why like they're not bringing those guys like on the edge, like we were expecting. Like, I mean, even in the first 3 games against inferior competition, not like they lit it up and now they're getting slowed down by the Big Ten offensive tackles. It's not like that. Like, it's just been weird. In fact, they've probably done better in Big Ten play.
Washington's O-line is also really good, but that's just one game. But that is the game ultimately that we have the most to talk about because of the fact that that's their recent showing of who they are. And in terms of the year, in terms of the transfers, I mean, I would say the best transfer player so far has been DT Sheffield, and I would only give him a minus or a B year, considering he was on all those preseason watch lists.
Yeah, and it's like even in there, like Ian Strong and Duff have surpassed him, but he's not been bad by any means.
No, he hasn't been bad. He's just had a couple mistakes. Thankfully,
he's dropped a few passes, things like that.
You're right about the refs kind of helping us because I did think that was a fumble in the second quarter. Thankfully, that got overturned
mainly like the pass interference. That was an interception. Another one that was kind of questionable. Like you could argue it either way, but like I mean, I guess the other thing I wanted to say about Shiano and that whole situation is just like, well, those are like I don't know about him like not being able to put up with us because like he's the one who's saying like it's us, like it's the coaching, it's him, like those are his units, defense and special teams. And I guess, like that's how much of that falls on him. Like, how can he say like, well, we have had enough of it? Like, those are his like responsibility. Those are his hires. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like the offense has been bad this year and he has no control over it.
No, the offense,
you know what I mean?
I mean, this offense put up more points against Iowa than Indiana did.
Yeah, exactly. But they also allowed the defense allowed 38. So it's just like.
I mean, we almost put up as many against Washington as Ohio State did, so it's not the offense. I mean,
it's not.
In the second half, it might be, but
it might be. It's not helping. But
the drives that everything is pre-approved of by coaches and they work on all week. Those always work out to perfection.
Right. Those are like the scripted. Like, okay, we come out, we do this, we run here, and then when it becomes like, like we like figure it out as we go, then it's kind of just like I don't know, like I just seen in the Big Ten, like so many teams make like really good halftime adjustments. Like remember against Michigan when Rutgers was down or up at the half, surprisingly, Michigan, they're a really good team that year. They come out and Rutgers is like nothing. But this year, like I've never seen that. And in fact, Ohio, even though they lost, they made halftime adjustments. They slowed Rutgers down. They didn't win, but Iowa won. They, Minnesota won. Washington. Maybe it's not even halftime adjustment. Maybe it's just Rutgers is just slows like dramatically down. But like they need to have something in the locker room. This is what we're gonna do. First drive of the second half. Things like that. Like where is that? Like you know what I mean?
No, I completely agree with you there. But I feel like we do have to talk about one thing that has gotten a little bit better. And what I mean by that is that they haven't completely made a fool of themselves this week. The special teams. We finally got through a game without a horrible blunder.
Let's go. Yeah, I was trying to, I guess, allude to that earlier. But yeah, I mean, I'm really happy about that in a way. Like, I mean, no big mistakes. There was no, like, the noise didn't, cause, like, a low snap or anything. So even on the other two phases of the ball, no big mistakes. But, yeah, I mean, no long kickoff returns allowed to Washington. I mean, like, no egregious mistakes. One false start penalty on Mashoud Giwa, which I didn't even realize.
Mashoud Giwa, I honestly like him a lot. I think
he's pretty solid, honestly. Like,
in some way, should be starting on this offensive line.
Yeah.
And I know that they've been sound all year, but I think that he needs to find a way, whether it's at the left tackle over Ty Needham.
Right.
I'm not sure, but yeah, he came in LIU, and my co-host Donovan Gibbs, who plays currently at LIU, he says that Mashoud Giwa was like one of the best players on the team last year.
Well, you also have to remember that, especially for next season, because Giwa's got a lot of eligibility left. And next season we're gonna have
a lot of
we're
our
gonna
guys,
get
seniors are leaving, graduating. So
no. I'm actually not. That's not what I'm alluding to at all. You're gonna have Dante Chin is gonna have a medical red shirt.
Yeah.
He had a great start to the season.
true.
Ryder Langsdale is going to get a medical
Yeah.
red shirt.
Mm-hmm.
He had a great start to the season. We could be looking at a very good offensive line protecting Surace next season, which is what I'm excited
Shout out
for.
Pat Flaherty.
Honestly, you can't say enough about Flaherty.
Yeah. Hands down the best coordinator on this team. And he actually has, I think he was a coordinator for the Buccaneers under Shiano too.
I know he worked with the Giants.
I know he won Super Bowls with the Giants. I think he also does have experience with Shiano as well. So that's definitely an interesting touch. He's been really good. I mean, the O-line recruiting's been good. The depth has been good.
The D-line. Shout out, I think it was Jalen Smith or Jared Smith that started the whole not the whole class of 2026 and 2027 flipping to us. Jared Smith started that out of Georgia. He goes to school
Georgia,
and he could have picked between us, Georgia Tech, and Auburn, and he chose us, and that started everything.
I know that was a huge get too.
He started the Tavion Branch commit before he decommitted, but who knows what happens now?
Yeah, maybe we get him
back.
back.
I have a feeling he's gonna come back.
I really hope so, man, because we had him on our show, and he's a great dude. And it's funny actually, because one of the questions I had for him was, what would you say to people in your position with an offer from Rutgers and an offer from Penn State? Why would they choose Rutgers? And he answered that question. So it's kind of ironic.
Yeah. I wonder what he said over there.
And I will tell you about Tavion. I'm not putting words in his mouth by any means, but go look at his Instagram story.
It's not him saying anything. Something on Twitter too, where he kind of alluded to oh man, Franklin's out. What do I do?
Yeah, he's very upset about it. He didn't say anything about the program, but he's been posting about a lot of people leaving the program and saying good for you and stuff.
Yeah, I guess not to digress too far off special teams, and I guess the reason I brought up Guy was because he had the one false start, but it didn't result in a missed field goal this time. Jay Patel, he finally got his kicks off the ground. He made a 35 yarder. The 35 was a push, 5-yard penalty. He still made it. Last time against Iowa, that cost him one that he made the first time. Penalty missed from 5 yards out. The one that he did miss was a 45-yarder from the right hash. And that's also kind of a problem that first of all, the call over there, I was questioning that because it's a long kick, you're kicking it in the wind at the right hash. The question is, should they have gone for it? I don't know, maybe. I mean, they kind of went for it in the other fourth down. Second of all, you should have a kicker who can make a 45-yarder from the right hash. That also should be so I don't know.
I mean,
we have one, but I mean, again, it's hard to just say, hey, you're the guy. I mean, we did it for the 56-yarder because Jay Patel wasn't in range, but it's just hard to unless they're getting significant reps, you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know what their situation's like. So I can't really.
Do we have a kicker that can hit those? Because the past few weeks says that we don't.
I think we should give Pizarro the reins, but I only say that because of Patel's limited range, and you can't just throw a guy out there for only 50+ yard field goals.
That's the thing. You come out cold like that. We saw what happened with Patel last year when they misused him too. They were bringing him out for long kicks and not for short, and that threw him off. And I was just this is ridiculous. And this season it hasn't really been like that. But Patel himself kind of messed up a little bit, unfortunately. And I think he did fix the mechanical issue, which is good. But yeah, it looks like it. But the 45-yard length thing, that you got to be able to make that. I don't know. Especially, you know what I mean? It's just, or you have to have someone who can. That's just not. But I mean, overall, not the worst game from him. Not the worst game from special teams. No long kickoff returns. So yeah, I mean, we've been complaining.
I'll say it was a net neutral because didn't they miss a field goal going into the halftime?
Who, Rutgers or
Minnesota? Or I know we're talking about Washington, but.
Oh, well, he had one blocked against the Gophers. I remember that. Oh, Minnesota also missed a field goal going into the halftime.
Yeah, so it hasn't been just us, but we're talking about the games where he did have a stinker. The other special teams aside from returning the ball, they were at least decent.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, I mean, our return game, that too, is also kind of, I feel been a little dormant-ish, but now Dane Partridge is a little injured. Dino Calakmanis is, I don't know, I feel they're bringing out different guys, sometimes it's Sheffield, sometimes Black, why haven't we, decided on that? I feel some of these guys are dynamic. It's a Rutgers like strategies like year to year very different. Like sometimes we don't return kicks, sometimes we do. Like I don't know what's going on there.
Let Ben Black do it. The kid has a 4.38 40 time. Let Ben Black return a couple of kicks. His season going, just watch him shoot out of there.
And DT Sheffield is more critical to our offense, so if he gets hurt,
you're right. Put Black out because Black isn't even doing like a whole lot like on offense either.
No.
So I mean, they might as well use him for something, right? I mean, like I would have liked to see Ben Black more involved in the passing offense. I understand that Sheffield, Duff, and Strong are really, really good, and that's fine. But like then use Black as like a return man because like even if they don't like you can't have mid-season you're not settled on a returner, but that's what it doesn't even matter because nobody's returning the kicks anyway. I feel like it's like not a moot point, but like I mean like why are we still having this conversation? I really don't know. Maybe it doesn't matter. I don't know, but like that has to be figured out. And I would say definitely Ben Black should be I think should be the guy. He's the quickest, and TT Sheffield's quick too, but he's like one of the starting receivers obviously, so you don't want to risk that if you don't have to. But that's kind of all I had to say about like special teams, unless you guys had anything else.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like we're returning it a little more this year than last year, where it was basically a non-factor.
That's true. Yeah, we are at least returning them out, which is good. But I guess if you guys want to move on to Oregon, like
I was just gonna actually.
Arnav, I got some beef with you, man. First off, are you an imposter Oregon fan or something?
Oh boy, I realized I was wearing the green, but like
you got the green. I was about to put on some green, and then I was like, you know what, I can't because
the show
for this it's a curse. And also, man, you got a duck on your screen.
Where?
Oh, that's the StreamYard logo.
I know, but it just so happens to be floating right on your screen, man.
That's funny. I don't know. Maybe a little bit reverse jinxing. I don't know. It's worked for me in the past, but like but
he's
anyway,
trying to disguise himself so they don't realize.
Yeah, it's completely. I didn't even really think through that.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Are those
whatever?
You're sending back to Dante Moore?
We got a Connor Stallions over here.
Yeah, I'm at Oregon. I'm on the. Yeah, never mind. I don't even want to like run with that like so far. It's like I secretly write for their site, not ours. Like, no, I'm just kidding. But anyway,
I would just like to point out only one of us has the R in the background.
Yeah, it's like a block R behind me too. But like anyway, it's like not the same. But anyway, the Ducks. I did do a good scouting report on them last night when I worked on this outline. So I mean, I guess I could drop the give them the backstory and then we could talk about it. They are the number 8 team in the country. They dropped from number 3 to 8 after their 30-20 loss against the number 3 Indiana Hoosiers. Who would have thought that would have happened 2 years ago?
You're looking insane,
right? Unbelievable. I was actually like able to watch like this game, which is going to be good for me because I do another series where I do like breaking down film and stuff, and I saw some of it. I'll go through the Twitters. But I mean, kind of same story. Like another good quarterback, and I think Damon Williams was the best one we faced so far. I think what Dante Moore is even better.
Oh yeah.
Prolific passer. He can definitely run as well. He's a dual threat. So more of that. They have a lot of different playmakers on offense. From my understanding, there's no like true number one like guy. No. It seems like it's changing at running back, and
they have 4 different players with around 200 yards receiving.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, on receivers on my list, I have Malik Benson, Decorian Moore, who I've heard that name, Gary Bryant Jr. Running backs, I think Deer Hill.
Kenyon Sadiq too is probably
the tight end. Yeah, I was about to say like to Kenyon Sadiq. He's been used a lot. He's a big I think 6'4" or something.
One of the rare tight ends in college football that's getting used.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's another thing that Rutgers offense, like they use them, but not like a ton.
Like you went from Brock Bowers to Tyler Warren, but there's no real tight end this year to take that realm.
Yeah, I mean Sadiq isn't being like crazy, like he's not like a hyper beast like that, but he's still a big pass catching tight end. He's definitely used as a receiver a lot. And alongside, they also have Gary Bryant, Decorian Moore, Malik Benson, who I think has been leading the team in receiving. And then running back
Isaiah World is an all worldly, no pun intended.
Really good offensive tackle. I heard about him too in the offseason coming over as a transfer. And then the run game, Deer Hill Jr., I think led the team in multiple games, but then last game it was Jordan Davison. Noah Whittington's a name I heard before. Yeah. Jaden Lamar, I think, has also been having big carries. So it's like we don't know which one's gonna be the
they just have Mekhi Hughes, who he put up a pedestrian 1,400 yards rushing 2 straight years as their 3rd string running back. No big deal.
Yeah, like honestly, you talk about a team. Well, you're talking about a team that is so loaded with talent, not even just on the offensive side of the ball, but on the defensive side of the ball. Like you mentioned, they had a running back 2 years put 1,400 rushing yards, and on defense, you're talking that they have studs like Bryce. I hope I'm saying this right. Bryce Bocher.
I think so.
Yeah.
Bet you.
They have a lot of tough names to pronounce on defense.
Yeah, Bear Alexander, even Dylan Theinman. Like
Theinman.
you saw the play he made against Penn State. Like, falling back
hearing about him,
interception.
like as a safety transferring in from Purdue. Like I think he had 6 interceptions last year for them, and like now he goes here and he's performing. And in the last game against the Hoosiers, Amari Washington had a sack. Brendan Finney, the cornerback, had an interception. I think the big 2 pass rushers are Bryce Betcher. I think that's how you say it. Bear Alexander. They have other ones. They have Mateo Uaglele, who I think is DJ's brother. That's another guy. And then of course Dylan Theinman is a complete stud. I'll definitely watch out for him on the field. He can come up and make a tackle. He can get an interception at any time. Like he's going to be one to watch. But
I wonder if James Franklin has nightmares of Dylan Theinman as the man that ruined his life.
I know, man. Like that interception just changed. Imagine if Penn State won against Oregon. Like
you can't let 3 bad losses determine a program, man.
Yeah, but like, who would have thought that things would have like crashed out that quickly? Like that's like what the weird part is for me. It's like they invested everything in the Oregon game and they like had nothing left or something like that.
Yeah. All I will say is we're the underdogs in this game by 15.5, but hey,
it feels like 40.
Northwestern was the underdogs by 21.5, and UCLA was the underdog by 24.5. So I'm not saying necessarily that Oregon is Penn State, but it's actually on paper easier of a matchup than those 2 games that Penn State lost in. And, I was talking about Mekhi Hughes back-to-back 1,400-yard seasons. He's their RB3. Jaden Lamar, who has the most snaps this year, he has 39 attempts, 232 yards, 6 per carry. And then Noah Whittington has 9 yards per carry, 21 for 184. And that's just their running game. I talked about how they have 4 receivers with 200 yards receiving so far. And Dante Moore can run a little bit too.
Yeah.
So man, I don't know how the hell Indiana slowed them down. I mean, they got to
there. They have a really good like pass rushers on Indiana.
Yeah, that was their pass rushing was good. Our pass rushing is not good. So
they played ball control too. They played ball control like Sally. Like they played ball control offense like crazy.
They also did run a lot. They took possessions away from the Ducks and they pass rushed the heck out of them. Like Moore was brought down multiple times on the backfield. So I mean, it was just shocking. And now Oregon's going to be coming here.
Whatever the over under is for this game, I'm taking the over.
But now it's like Oregon's going to be coming to our house, like like playing angry and playing for like a statement win, and like they didn't need it.
Or now hear me out. They come out like
Penn State now,
like completely Penn Stating around, and just we get to 4 touchdown lead by halftime.
Can you imagine?
I'm just saying.
And then we blow it in the second half. Like, no, or maybe we hold on. Like, you never know.
I rebuke that. Come on,
anything can happen. Yeah, at that point, anything can happen.
No, honestly, what were we thinking? I know that it was probably the only option this late into the year, but what were we thinking making this our homecoming game? That's a trap.
Well.
It's the only game you can pick.
Yeah, it's the only game in the home game in the whole month. And second of all, like I didn't think it was the worst thing in the world. Like, because I mean, like especially given that they made it a night kick, like I think they really pulled out all the stops to get the crowd.
But honestly, I don't want it to be a night kick because now we get now instead of just losing badly on a noon kickoff, we get to get embarrassed on national television. Even though I know it's on
because we've done that twice already.
BTN.
That's why I'm like,
it's not really a night game, but it's like an evening, like 6:30, whatever, like perfect for BTN or FS1. But like
I was gonna say, I know we're on BTN. I know that like we're gonna be on the Big Ten Network, but a later game means more people tune in no matter what. So now it's just we have the opportunity to get absolutely mollywopped on in front of everybody.
All we can hope for is, unfortunately, same old Rutgers. We need to hope that this offense just looks like a good offense and these
For
players,
60 minutes.
And that's not even same old Rutgers.
I mean,
That's
it is
like-
this year.
Yeah.
Same old Rutgers kind of has it's not even same old Rutgers, it's congruent old Rutgers, where it's not the same identity, but you still find a way to lose. Hopefully we don't lose, obviously, but the
Right. At least keep
congruency
it like, I think
is still there.
Honestly, if we can keep it, if we can keep it like respectable and like give the fans something to smile about, like I would be like okay with that. Like I don't really know like what the bars are, but I know it's a sellout. I know the vibes are. They're not going to be high, but I mean, people are still coming, and maybe that includes some Oregon fans, but still like a lot of Rutgers fans. The reason I said like I like that it's a night kick on homecoming because first of all that never happens, and second of all they're really playing out all this. It's not for the TV audience, it's for us, it's for our fans. It's what I mean, and it's for like the juice to be filled in that stadium. And people are thinking, well, maybe they do beat before the season, like Iowa, Minnesota, or Washington, or all three or two. Maybe they're coming in with the vibes high, and now you have a chance to play spoiler. Obviously, none of that's the case, but that was the idea. So I didn't mind it at the time. I mean, now like it's just a different story altogether. Yeah. But that's what I was saying.
All I can hope for is the realist in me hopes for a 38-30 loss. Because that would mean that.
Come on! You are way too optimistic.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. No, that's the realist. The optimist in me would say anything can happen, and it's a less of a deficit projection than games seen upsets.
You said 38-30.
38-30 loss. Yes.
Hey, honestly, I think that's being optimistic.
This offense. I mean, we only put up 19 against Washington, but outside of that, this offense has looked electric all year.
It's true. I mean, I feel like there's a way that they might build a lead at, maybe not halftime, but they'll probably end up like, I don't want to say probably, because I don't know, but the chances are they do take an early lead, but that's like that's going to be like all she wrote, like again, and maybe they won't even do that because Oregon.
The only way that chance becomes a reality is if we get the ball first.
Yeah, otherwise Oregon's going to take the early. Our defense is like, going to be like
knock on wood, but our opening drives have always.
I know. Like last time they scored in like a minute 18. I was like, before like barely the game even turns on, they already score, and before you know it, they're up 10-0, and then like just like that, that's gone. So
you know what our offense is doing at this point in the year. I mean, we're not winning anything amazing this year, unfortunately. So what they're doing is they're helping their draft stock. Ethan's looking to get drafted. Ian Strong is looking to get drafted day one. Like it's only helping their draft stock at this point.
100%.
Oh, absolutely.
DT is still looking to get drafted, which who knows?
Well,
KJ Duff.
KJ Duff's a sophomore, I think.
Oh, right? Yeah.
He's a sophomore.
Sheffield? Like, sorry, I missed like what you.
Sheffield, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I mean, maybe like
he could get drafted. He could absolutely get drafted.
He could. I would say coming into the year, I would have said that he's like a 7th rounder. He might be a UDFA walk-on guy. I think
I can see that, especially with this like kick returning ability. Like, I mean, people are always.
I still think he's like a 7th rounder. I'll be honest with you. I still have, in all honesty, coming into the year, if he performed to expectation, I felt like he could have been probably like a 5th or 6th round guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that he's kind of like longer beam-esque for offense. So I kind of would say that he could be drafted. By the way, how bad does it suck? This is totally off topic. My bad. Just one thing. Holland Pierce was our best player last year.
I know he can get drafted.
He's not on a football team.
Oh yeah, the Eagles.
He's on a Canadian team. My bad.
Right, he's on the practice squad, right, for them.
He was on the Eagles practice squad, but he's not anymore.
No. Oh. That's so. I was like so like.
You're not giving him a chance. I don't feel like he was given a proper chance.
I agree.
don't think so. Yeah, it's weird because everyone was like, he was like the highest graded Rutgers player. Like people were saying he was going to go in the 3rd round, maybe the 4th round. He gets undrafted free agent. He goes to Philly. Yeah, everyone's like, as much as I don't like them, like they have one of the best offensive lines. They have a guru over there, and like whatever his name is. But yeah, you know what I mean. So that's it's unfortunate that like he didn't get a chance. He's not even
the only two from last year that have chances right now are Monongai and Longerbeam, who's out for the year.
Right. Yeah. I guess Monongai's trying to find his groove a little bit, but I just feel like there's like a stigma with Rutgers players. Like a lot of them that should maybe get drafted in the 6th or 7th, they just won't go. Or you know what I mean. There's also that like holding us back.
100% correct.
So like that's why I'm like I don't know about Sheffield. Like I feel like maybe he gets slapped with the same tag. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I mean, Ian Strong is 100%.
Ian Strong will get drafted.
He's Rutgers proof. Like,
he's just good as good. Like when you're really that good, then there's nothing you could say about it. It doesn't matter if you're Rutgers.
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, it's ironic we're facing the Ducks because he runs like a duck when he gets out of the pocket. But outside of that, like that's really his only weakness.
Oh, Kaliakmanis, you mean?
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah. No, me and Andrew have been saying it. Like the way he runs when he gets out of the pocket, he get sacked every time, and sometimes
not even just that. Not even
he has
just
a backpack on.
It's not even just that. We praise him for how smart he is. The coaches praise him for how intelligent he understands the game. Throw the ball away. Throw the ball away.
Yeah.
Get rid of it.
I think he did like once against Washington, and like I was like, oh, well, finally.
You know how he runs? He runs like he's crossing the street and a car waves for him to go.
Yeah, he's just like that kind of slow, like the little hurry, like
he does the wave and then the slow little.
I don't mind him. I don't mind him taking off. Like if he sees the opportunity.
Yeah.
But you're not Lamar Jackson. You're not
even
Patrick Mahomes.
Exactly. Like there's some quarterbacks who aren't crazy like burner fast, but they can scramble. Like Jackson Dart might be like that. Yeah, like Gronowski or like Mahomes. Like I was like taking like the way Dart was scrambling, he knows where to go to evade the rush. Like Kaliakmanis is like not like that like at all. Yeah. So like
it scares me when he runs he doesn't usually slide and it results in a big
and that too. Like he'll just dive forward or like he'll it's just like.
And I believe in Saris, but not yet.
Not yet. Not yet. No.
I mean, like we need him healthy. But yeah, that's the knock on Kaliakmanis. But it was funny because in the broadcast they were saying like, he has such good awareness in the pocket, and then that is true. Like, but then me and Andrew are just like losing our minds like watching that.
Throw the ball away. Yep. Throw it away. Like yes, he does have pocket awareness to where he starts moving, but. He doesn't have enough pocket awareness to where he just gets rid of the ball. Like it's better to
see the rush coming and take a sack or something like that, or like
he's good at avoiding sacks. He's just not good at. You're right, throwing the ball away or sliding down. Honestly, like he doesn't really slide. He
dives.
He dives like head first. Like
he does it. I don't want to see him throwing up gang signs against Oregon, man.
Oh boy, it's like peace out. Oh god, no, that'll be terrible.
Man. Oh, they'll maul him. Like, come on now.
Yeah,
I have a bad feeling it's going to be a long day for Kaliakmanis.
Hey, at least our offensive line is good. At least that much is true.
Yeah.
Well, the offensive line overall is good. I question Needham and Needham's skill.
Yeah.
And obviously, this is going to be a step up for Giwa. Like, I know he was great at LIU, but that's not Oregon.
I would say I don't know what his PFF grade, but I bet it's at least above average for a starting offensive lineman.
Wait, but like is Giwa like in the starting like rotation for offensive lineman now, or he is? So then he's on the right or because like is Needham in
it's Needham. He's rotating in with Needham.
The thing is, Needham gets hurt so much that he does.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, because like Needham's kind of been in and out. Like he's been
glass bones and paper skin.
Yeah,
it's funny. Coming into the year, I remember Shiano was like debating sliding Needham over to a tight end position. I'm like,
I did see that.
You would rather have Needham be tight end 3 than starting at left tackle?
I know that's crazy. Yeah,
because apparently, dude, Dante Ginn was doing so.
That's what I was about to say. Like he came out of like utility and like ended up like he was gonna have that spot, but like obviously the injury. But yeah, the offensive line overall pretty good. I mean that's the problem. Like the offense is like pretty good all over the place, but it's just like again not consistent and not good enough to make up for the defense. I don't think any offense would be. So like it's just one of those things.
Yeah. Just I feel like we've pretty much covered everything that we can about the Washington game, problems on the team, and the Oregon game. Did you guys have something you wanted to mention or talk about really quick before we get out of here?
Man, I just gotta say this is just for honestly Arnav, but the Giants done made Zadarius Smith retire.
Oh, word.
Yeah, he just retired.
Oh, that's interesting.
Crazy. Mid-year. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah. For the Eagle. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, That's interesting, actually. Honestly, like the thing is for me with the Giants, like real quick, like everyone's gonna talk about Dart and Scatterboo, but like to me, the defense as well is the most impressive. Like the rushing, the stopping the run, the pass, the turnovers, getting the hurts, like every part of the defense was clicking. And like, offense is fun, it's flashy, but the defense was so sound and so dominant. I loved it.
I can't even say how much I love watching Scatterboo run. I'm not even a Giants fan, but I love watching him run so much.
I was rooting for the Eagles, but Scatterboo has the love of the entire NFL right now.
Oh, he's great, and Dart has got
Scatterboo and Dart
too.
Here's the thing, right? I'm a Jets fan who loves the Eagles, and I can't hate them in any way.
Yeah, exactly. You're like all over like. I mean, the Jets and Giants aren't like super rivals, but I get it. Yeah, but you can't because like they both have that. The people call it aura. Like they have it about them that they have.
I don't know. It's a mix of aura and just like Okay, first off, he's insane, Scatterboo, and second off, he went to Arizona State. I want to know how many beers did that man drink in college. I'm guessing.
It's like the #1 party school in the country, but yeah.
Yeah, look at Andrew flexing his dub, man. I'm 0-6.
Best team in the league, baby.
Hey, I have Tyler Warren, Jonathan Taylor, and Colts defense, so I'll take it.
I should have started Warren. Well, honestly, Laporta didn't have a bad week, but like the numbers told me Laporta, my gut told me Warren, and my fantasy team did really horrible, so none of it mattered. But anyway, I don't want to get too like off topic. Like one thing I did want to do, and like other podcasts do it. Like we haven't always done them, but especially with special guests on. If you guys want to do score predictions just for fun, like I know we write an article on that.
Mine might sound crazy, but I gave mine.
Oh, did you? Oh, you're right. Yeah, 38-30, right. Oof, man, I don't know. Like that's just like I don't trust our defense against the Ducks. That's the problem. Like I don't know. Like, do you want to go first? Like
they could put up 50s on us.
Yeah, I'll go first, and I just want to point out that I have every right to change my score prediction between now and when our on the bank score predictions drops on Saturday. Honestly, I'm going to go 45-17 Oregon.
Ugh, God.
Yeah.
I mean, on paper, they're better than Washington. Washington wins 38-19.
Right. Exactly. They're better on like both sides of the ball too. Like, not even just the offense. So like, I mean, it's going to be a long day. Honestly, the 17.5 is very generous. They make these lines like that so people bet on each side of it.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
people are
it's 15.5.
Oh, really?
Yeah, did it?
Oh, well, maybe it's like a little different in different places. But yeah.
It's going to be 17.5 by the end of the day.
Well, shout out FanDuel, but
yeah, facts.
That's where we get our stats from.
Yeah. Either way, that's very, very generous. Like again, they do that so people put money on the game on I think either side of the line. They say, oh, well, 50.5 and like whatever. A little bit Oregon, mainly whatever it is. It's very generous. They don't want to make it like 24.5, and now people are like questioning everything. So like but I guess the reality of it is I mean like it sounds accurate-ish. I mean I don't think Rutgers offense won't score because they've scored against everybody, but I don't know how much. I'm gonna probably go with like. Oh God, like I'm gonna say for now, like 45-17 Oregon.
That's my score.
Oh.
You have to pick something else.
Is the field goal going to be on the first drive of the game then? Because when else are we kicking a field goal?
Maybe. I don't know. I think we get one. Or I'll change it. 42-20 Oregon. I'll give Rutgers a little more point.
Or do we miss an extra point?
I think we make 2 field goals. I think the Ducks get some stops in the red zone against our offense.
I just don't know when we're kicking those field goals.
Jay Patel lifts a couple up. I don't know. Or we could even go 42-21. Like it doesn't really matter too much.
I feel like you're trying to push Arnav to say that it's going to be 42-14.
No, man. I'm saying instead of 2 field goals, throw 2 more touchdowns on there, make it 42-28.
You're right.
Our red zone offense is great so far.
The way Rutgers is
no offense, you're delusional.
The way Rutgers has been,
our red zone offense was great last week. What do you mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to change this to 42-14. Like after hearing I'll go. Well, you said 45-17. I feel like we do get 1 field goal. I'm gonna go with like 42-17 for now, but it could be like subject
trying to harp on my answer.
I don't know what to do. Like I just
are you playing the Price is Right or something? You don't want to go over?
Yeah.
What's the over under on this thing? Like 59.5?
Oh God. I'll give you an answer in literally 30 seconds. But I mean 38-30 is my Okay, I'm not going to say realist. 38-30 is my if 95 of things go right answer. It's 38-30.
Goodness.
My actual answer is probably so like 48-21. That sounds about right.
I could see
the over under is
I could see that.
59.5, by the way.
Wow.
59.
I'm just about at the number. I don't know.
Oh, geez.
And also, it did shoot up to 17.5 now, the spread.
Yeah, I think that's what I saw as well.
But it opened up at 15.5, so clearly people agreed with us.
Yep. All right.
Yeah, so one thing that was funny is that it opened up at 15.5 for like an hour or two. It went down to 14.5, and then it went back up to 15. It did, yeah, because I was
betting is it because sports betting is legal in like the tri-state, but not legal in Oregon or something?
No, so actually you can't bet on Rutgers if you live in
New Jersey. That's why I said the tri-state, because I'm in PA. A lot of New Yorkers are Rutgers fans.
True. I don't know.
There's
no way people should have been putting money on Rutgers to cover.
No.
I'll tell you that. So
see, if you want to be delusional and make a lot of money, I would say bet Rutgers money line. But just because it's like plus.
Yeah, you get like really good.
I would at least understand that. I would never understand Rutgers spread.
Well, I mean, I feel like spread's probably more likely than money line to happen.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But the odds are also like a lot lower.
That's what I'm saying. Like if you're gonna be faithful in Rutgers, you might as well be all the way faithful.
Right. I guess my whole thing when Rutgers used to be like really bad was I was always like the good teams win, great teams cover guy. Like I used to say it on like WRSU and stuff all the time for my lock of the week. So
now we don't even cover. So
exactly. So I kind of in a weird way, like I kind of wish the spread was like ridiculous so I could like use that line. And we won't even be able to do it if the line is 17.5. But I guess
I will say the only game that I lost the Rutgers spread was Iowa, and it looked like we could have covered. It was 1.5.
Yeah,
it looked like
Iowa minus 1.5.
Yeah, crazy in hindsight that Iowa was only 1.5 point favorites against.
They should have been like 3.5 point.
I mean, Minnesota was 5.5 against.
Yeah, they were more bigger favorites than Iowa was.
Iowa was going to cover. Then I said we were going to cover against Miami and of Ohio and Norfolk, but then lost Iowa, got Minnesota right. Unfortunately, got Washington right too.
Yeah, I had a feeling they were going to cover that, but I'll go with my final score prediction for now because sometimes Vegas is really smart with these over-unders. I think 42-17 looks really damn good.
So that's quite literally under by 1 point.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes they get these things exactly right. So, like, you know what I mean? I have more faith in that now. And also, like, the way the touchdowns and field goals come together. Like, I could see Patel getting a field goal. I could see Oregon getting 6 touchdowns. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you want to change yours. I mean, 42-17, 45-17 are two different.
Good, man. I'm sticking to my guns.
I'll stick with mine too. Then, like, it's a difference of field goal. I feel confident now. Like that,
40.
it looks like a good score. It's like 42-7. It sounds like football-y, So I mean, I'll take it. Like it, I'll take it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, is that everything that we had to talk about? That looks like it.
Yeah, that looks like everything again on our outline. Is there something you want to mention real quick, Gabe? Yeah, you were trying to like butt in there.
No, I was just saying 48-21 sounds ugly. 45-17, 42 sounds ugly. I hope we're all wrong. And I even hope that my 38-30 is wrong. Let's win. Let's shock the world.
Baby.
Yeah.
Money this week. The good news about this is, in a selfish way, the stress won't be there. That's the one thing that won't.
Not at all.
Thank God, because every other game there's been so much of it.
That's the only bright side of it is that this week we can say let's play like Rutgers, and that hopefully that means it's a close game.
Right? Because like even the first 3, we were sweating some out. It was kind of boring. It was like these don't really count. And then Iowa's like, oh my God, the whole season, the weight of the world's on the line. Minnesota's like, why didn't we win? Washington's like, come on. Oregon's like, house money, let's go.
I mean,
let's do this.
Iowa and Minnesota were definitely the most important games of the year.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And they lost both of them. And Washington was like a last chance, like gasp, basically. But I will say, though, the bowl eligibility isn't completely dead just yet. I mean, if they can beat Purdue and Maryland,
Maryland, and Penn State, that's the only pathway.
Who knows what happens against that?
You see people talking in elections like, oh, this president has to win Arizona, like Oklahoma,
right?
Ohio. Like that's us. We have one pathway.
Yeah, it's Purdue, Minnesota, and
Maryland, Purdue.
I'm trying to think if those are like swing states, but like 2 of them actually are.
Ohio is. I was just naming states though.
You know, I was just thinking like, are those the same states that are like also swing states, but not entirely. Some of them are. But yeah, that's a one.
Just like how Pennsylvania is a swing state, Penn State is a swing school.
It's a swing game for us, and just like now Purdue and Maryland are too. But the weird part is like I have some, I don't know, like I just feel like in a weird way there's a real argument that Penn State's the easiest one. I would not go that far. Maryland is going to be the hardest. Yeah, Purdue I think is still the easiest one of the 3, but I think Maryland might be the hardest. Like I don't have faith that we beat Maryland.
Yeah, Maryland they almost came back and beat Nebraska. That was a great game.
And they
I think they were down 17.
And they were up 20-0 against Washington. And
yeah, they had them on the ropes.
They were. I will say we were up 10-0.
Yeah, it's a little bit different, but
I will say that Loxley does have a tendency to kind of fall apart in October. So I'm hoping that his annual October collapse piles up into the Rutgers game. And obviously, can't rely on that, but.
Yeah, well, it looks like Maryland next has UCLA, who's like red hot. So like, and then they have Indiana, then Rutgers. So
would have thought Maryland UCLA would be a good game,
right? That might have to be one I watch now. Yeah. Like, I mean, my goodness,
I'm watching. Yeah,
yeah.
All right. That pretty much does it for everything that we have here today. We got some Washington recap in. We got some Oregon preview in. Gabe, thank you so much for joining us. Everybody go check out his show on the Voice of College Football Network. It's the Rutgers Show.
Yep. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, of course. And for everybody that tuned in to another episode, thank you so much, guys, so much for watching. And remember that the bells must ring.